The Old Firm is the collective name for the Glasgow Association football clubs Celtic and Rangers. The origin of the term is unclear but may derive from the commercial benefits of the two clubs' rivalry. The rivalry between the two clubs deeply embeds Scottish culture and has largely contributed to the political, social and religious division in Scotland. As a result, the fixture is widely considered one of the biggest derbies in world football. The two clubs are the most successful in Scotland, between them having won 99 Scottish League Championships, 68 Scottish Cups and 41 Scottish League Cups. Interruptions to their ascendancy have occurred infrequently, most recently with the challenge of the new firm of Aberdeen and Dundee United in the first half of the 1980s. Since the 1985 Euro 86 season, one half of the Old Firm has won the Scottish League consistently, and from the 2005 Euro 06 season to the 2011 Euro 12 season both clubs finished in the top two places. Rangers and Celtic have played each other 399 times, Rangers won 159 matches, Celtic 144 matches and 96 were draws. The clubs have large support bases around Glasgow but also have supporters clubs in most towns throughout Scotland and in many cities around the world. The presence of Rangers and Celtic has been estimated to be worth £120 million to the Scottish economy. Rivalry and sectarianism. The competition between the two clubs had roots in more than just a simple sporting rivalry. It has more to do with Northern Ireland and Scotland, and this can be seen in the flags, cultural symbols and emblems of both clubs. It was infused with a series of complex disputes, sometimes centred on religion, Northern Ireland-related politics, national identity, and social ideology. Another primary contributor to the intensity of the rivalry in the west of Scotland was that Rangers supporters are historically native Scots and Ulster Scots, and Celtic supporters are historically Irish Scots. While the confrontation between the two sets of supporters was often labelled as sectarianism, native immigrant tension was an equally accurate catalyst for hostility between the two teams' supports in Scotland. Rangers' traditional support was largely from the Protestant community, while Celtic's was largely from those of Irish Roman Catholic backgrounds. One effect is that Scottish flags are rarer than might be expected amongst both sets of supporters. Celtic fans are more likely to wave the Irish tricolour while Rangers fans tended to wave the Union flag or the Ulster banner. Traditionally, Rangers, founded in 1872, attracted the Protestant, Scottish establishment. Celtic, founded later in 1887, represented the Catholic Irish people in Scotland. Nevertheless, this dividing line seems to be blurred today. Glasgow is increasingly homogeneous. Mixed marriages between Protestants and Catholics have never been higher, and the old certainties the Rangers support are voting Conservative and the Celtic support are voting Labour are lost. The ferocity of the rivalry made it rare for a player to represent both teams during his career. Players who played for both sides of the Old Firm included Alex Bennett, Scott Duncan, Robert Campbell, and George Livingston, who all played before the intensity of the rivalry had started prior to 1912. As well as later players, Alfie Conn, Maurice Johnston, Kenny Miller, Stephen Pressley and Mark Brown. Opposing fans fought an on-pitch battle in the aftermath of Celtic's won a Euro 0 victory in the 1980 Scottish Cup final at Hampden. This remains one of the worst invasions onto a football pitch ever reported, and was instrumental in alcohol being banned from football grounds in Scotland. There was serious fan disorder during an Old Firm match played in May 1999 at Celtic Park, as several objects were thrown by Celtic fans, one of which struck referee Hugh Dallas, forcing the game to be stopped while he received medical treatment. At least 4 Celtic fans invaded the field of play to confront Dallas during the game, and more missiles were thrown at players on the pitch after the game. Since the events of that day, Old Firm League matches have normally been played in the early afternoon, and the possibility of an Old Firm title decider has been deliberately avoided. The Old Firm rivalry fueled many assaults on derby days, and some deaths in the past have been directly related to the aftermath of Old Firm matches. An activist group that monitors sectarian activity in Glasgow has reported that on Old Firm weekends, violent attacks increased ninefold over normal levels. An increase in domestic abuse can also be attributed to old firm fixtures. A Freedom of Information request found that Strathclyde Police incurred costs of £2.4 million for the 7 derbies played during the 2010 Euro 11 season, with the clubs only contributing £0.3 million towards that. Other high-profile games involving Rangers and Celtic incurred much lower costs. The reason for the disparity in costs and the contribution made is that Strathclyde Police had to increase its activity elsewhere in Glasgow and beyond, while the clubs were only responsible for costs incurred in the vicinity of their stadium. Anti-sectarianism legislation. In 2005 both Rangers and Celtic joined a project to tackle bigotry and sectarianism in sport, but there was little change in the behaviour and subsequent prosecution of the fans. On 1 March 2012 the police were given more powers to act against sectarian acts at football matches through the new Offensive Behaviour at Football and Threatening Communications Act. The law was designed specifically to target the old firm rivalry by reducing the religious hatred between the two opposing sides. The act created 2 new offences. One covering behaviour in and around football matches and the other related to posts sent by electronic or postal methods. People convicted under the Act could face up to 5 years imprisonment. This is a much higher sentence than was previously in place. It will now make it much easier to prosecute people, which has proved difficult in the past. March 2013 protest. In March 2013 a protest by a number of Celtic fans took place to protest against the new laws and the subsequent match bans that a number of fans had received for breaking the Act. The protesters, known as the A-OE Green Brigade had marched without police authority and the event was therefore cracked down on by local authorities resulting in 13 arrests. The protesters claim that the police instigated the trouble that occurred at this march. Following the march media coverage reported that the fans were growing further apart from the police than ever before. They claim that the trust the fans hold with the police to work in cooperation with them is falling dramatically. The march that took place resulted in a number of complaints from both the Celtic and the Rangers fans that they were harassed by the police. Investigations are still underway to discover the legitimacy of these claims. Rivalry in the sport. The Old Firm rivalry is listed as one of the top 5 biggest rivalries in the footballing sphere. Its deeply religious roots are the main cause of this, but in more recent years there have been claims that this is used as a pretext for the violence, because many of the supporters now belong to other religions or none at all. Head-to-head record. Note: League Championship statistics include playoff match for the 1904 Euro 05 title which Celtic won to Euro 1. 1888 to Euro 1999 statistics obtained from RSSSF. Remaining stats obtained from Soxabase. Biggest wins, 4 or more goals difference, are the winning team scored 5 or above, Celtic. Celtic 6 Euro 2 Rangers on August 27, 2000. Scottish Premier League, Celtic 5 Euro 1 Rangers on November 21, 1998. Scottish Premier League, Celtic 4 Euro 0 Rangers on April 26, 1969. Scottish Cup Final, Celtic 5 Euro 1 Rangers on January 1, 1966. SFL Division 1, Celtic 7 Euro 1 Rangers on October 19, 1957. Scottish League Cup, Celtic 6 Euro 2 Rangers on January 1, 1939. SFL Division 1, Celtic 5 Euro 0 Rangers on March 21, 1925. Scottish Cup, Celtic 4 Euro 0 Rangers on January 1, 1914. SFL Division 1, Celtic 4 Euro 0 Rangers on March 10, 1900. Scottish Cup, Rangers 0 Euro 4 Celtic on January 1, 1898. SFL Division 1, Celtic 6 Euro 2 Rangers on January 1, 1896. SFL Division 1, Rangers 5-1 Celtic November 26, 2000. Scottish Premier League, Rangers 4-0 Celtic March 26, 2000. Scottish Premier League, Rangers 5 Euro 1 Celtic August 27, 1988, Scottish Premier Division, Rangers 4 Euro 0 Celtic on April 14, 1928. Scottish Cup, Celtic 0 Euro 4 Rangers on January 1, 1899. SFL Division 1, Rangers 5-0 Celtic on January 1, 1894. SFL Division 1, players who played for both teams, pre-war, Tom Dunbar, Alan Martin, George Livingston, Alex Bennett, Tom Sinclair, Robert Campbell, Hugh Shaw, Willie Kavliken, David Taylor, Davy McLean, Scott Duncan, James Young, Tully Craig, post-war, Alfie Conn, Mo Johnston, Kenny Miller, Stephen Presley, Mark Brown, see also. Footnotes. Further reading. External links, head-to-head results Soxabase, The Old Firm, The Scotsman.